Ian Pinard, A Life of Service, brought to you compliments the Dominican National Lottery and PDV Petro Caribe Dominica.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Fast is what I want. Keep up.
Let's go!
Introducing Instacash, a new way to play and win. It's fast, it's easy, and you win instantly. Tickets are available in a variety of themes and price points, starting as low as $2, with top prizes ranging from $3,000 up to $10,000. 5 times the cash, 10 times the cash, 20 times the cash. Instacash tickets print on demand and are available at the terminal from all lottery agents. Get your Instacash tickets today and win instantly. Brought to you by the Dominica National Lottery. Everything is possible. Terms and conditions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, no one knows what the future holds, but we all know who holds tomorrow. I put my trust and my future in the hands of the Almighty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you give a little more than you take, and if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, there's a place for people like you.
The late Ian Pinard dedicated his life to service. He was committed to the people he served, particularly the Soufriere constituency, up until his death at the age of 54 during the early hours of April 17, 2026. Ian Pinard, or Butler, as he was affectionately referred to, was widely respected for his lifelong commitment to public service and community development. Ian Pinard was born on February 23, 1972, to Janet Peters of Point Michel and Lionel Pinard of Goodwill. He was raised by his mother in the community of Point Michel and was the fourth of 5 children. He attended the St. Luke's Primary School and later the St. Mary's Academy. Ian Pinard first ran for active politics in 2000 when he received 56 votes, 4 from Soufriere, 4 from Scots Head, and 48 from Point Michel. He was first elected to the House of Assembly in the 2005 general election. He was elected to represent the Soufriere constituency, including the communities of Soufriere, Scots Head, Galion, and Point Michel, on the ticket of the ruling Dominica Labour Party DLP. In 2009, Pinard declined to seek re-election due to health-related reasons.
Mr. Ian Pinard. After taking time out for a term, Ian Pinard is back to continue working for the people of the constituency of Soufriere. Anyone driving through the areas like Point Michel, Soufriere, and Scots Head would see that the work never stopped. The Dominica Labour Party has ensured the work continued and that the constituency benefited from the opportunities offered to all Dominicans. The new sea defense walls, the decent housing, the improved roads, the Point Michel Boulevard, the new gas station all testify to the progress made. Ian Pinard's return, by popular demand, can only speed up the development of this thriving constituency.
I've never really left the political arena. I live in Point Michel, I live in the constituency, so I've always been involved in the constituency. I think we've done a tremendous job in terms of growing the constituency. I came in 2005 and we started the process. In 2009, Sam took it and continued the process of growth. And you've seen significant development in the Soufriere constituency, in Point Michel, Soufriere, Scottsdale and Galion. We are looking at employment very seriously in our young persons and getting them employed. Education is also the key part. So we're going to continue stressing on employment, on education, on housing assistance and infrastructure.
He was again elected to Parliament in the 2014 election. On December 12, 2014, Pinard was sworn in as Minister for Public Works and Sports. However, on March 2, 2016, Pinard resigned as government minister due to allegations that he had inappropriate conduct with a girl.
In recent days, allegations of serious inappropriate behavior have been made against me in the media and elsewhere in relation to matters which the public rightly is and has been most concerned about. I believe I have a moral and fiduciary responsibility to you to address you on this matter. In light of these allegations, I considered that my continued presence in the cabinet can adversely impact the very important work this government is doing and must continue to do for the people of Dominica. In order to allow me to more appropriately address the allegations against me, and also in order to focus on other very important personal matters, I have earlier today tendered to the Honorable Prime Minister my resignation as a Minister of Government with immediate effect. I will continue to serve my constituents of the Soufriere constituency, pending what I am confident will be a successful conclusion of this matter. I would like to take the opportunity to extend my profound thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister and leader of my party for giving me the opportunity to serve our blessed country at the highest level. I also wish to thank the constituents of the Soufriere constituency for the support and confidence they have reposed in me. I assured you of my continued readiness to serve you. I thank you.
I've heard up there the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you.
On April 26, 2016, Pinard also resigned as a member of Parliament due to the same allegations.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pace of our constituency improvements was slowed considerably a few weeks ago, when unfortunately my name was mentioned and I became implicated in a series of rumors that have now developed into a scandal of national attention and interest. I resigned as a Minister of Government because I did not wish to sully the good name of the cabinet of which I had the honor to serve. I maintain my innocence of the allegations leveled against me. However, formal charges were laid and this matter is currently before the courts of Dominica. I am confident that due process will establish my innocence and that in the long run I will be vindicated. However, I would be lying to you if I said this entire episode has not had an enormous impact on me emotionally, psychologically, and physically. It has prevented me from functioning to the best of my ability as your pal rep. And this, more than anything else, is weighing on me emotionally. I promise you my all, and for me nothing less will suffice. I do not want the people of the Soufriere constituency to suffer as a result of this necessary but lengthy process towards what I am confident will be my exoneration. This is not what you voted for, and this is not what you deserve. Furthermore, I have been advised that I ought not to underestimate the impact this entire episode is having on me, mentally, physically. I have been advised that I need to pay attention to my health and to the demands of this case during the coming weeks and months. Accordingly, I met earlier with Honorable Prime Minister and informed him of my decision to resign in the seat of Parliament to resign my seat in the Parliament as parliamentary representative for the Soufriere constituency. I have written to Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly earlier this evening, tendering my resignation as a Member of Parliament of Dominica. This was one of the most difficult decisions that I've had to make.
I've heard up there the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you.
Following his resignation, Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett publicly announced that he would stand by Pinard.
Ian Pinard has just grown 10 feet taller in my eyes. Tonight, I am saddened by his resignation, but I am touched by his honor. Ian Pinard is a stalwart of the Dominica Labour Party. I want to say here tonight that as leader of this party, I shall stand foursquare next to my comrade Ian Pinard. His happiness is our happiness, and his grief is our grief. His pain is our pain. His struggle is our struggle. For we are one family in the Dominica Labour Party. Tonight, I salute Ian Pinard for the principled stand he has taken. I want to say to him that I admire and appreciate very much his pledge of commitment and support for his party in the weeks and months ahead.
When I think back on these times and the dreams we left behind, I'll be glad 'cause I was blessed to get to have you in my life. When I look back on these days, I'll look and see your face. You were right there for me. In my dreams I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am there you'll be.
During his time in government, Pinard was first Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education and then Minister for Public Works and Ports with responsibility for road infrastructure and port operations. In this role, he oversaw key aspects of the country's transport infrastructure during a period of national recovery and rebuilding. Mr. Pinard was also the vice president of the Dominica Labour Party at the time of his passing, having been appointed to that role in 2024. Upon receiving the news of the death of Mr. Pinard, Prime Minister and leader of the Dominica Labour Party, Roosevelt Scarrett, said in a Facebook post that he was shocked and deeply saddened by the sudden passing of his dear friend, colleague, and former government minister, Ian Pinard, who gave many years of committed service to the people of Dominica and contributed meaningfully to the advancement of the island. And during a memorial in honor of Ian Pinard, Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett debunked the historical 2000 election outcome, stating that Ian Pinard did not lose that election.
I would like to correct a historical fact. Ian did not lose the 2000 election. There was an arrangement between the Labour Party and the Freedom Party. And then we asked Ian to step down as a candidate, but he had already gotten nominated, so his name remained on the ballot paper. But there were 56 people who decided that they were still going to vote for him, and notwithstanding the arrangement between us and the Freedom Party, because we allowed Frederick Barron at the time to go ahead, and we also had the same arrangement in the Roseau Central constituency when we asked our candidate to step down from the campaign there. So Ian did not lose the 2000 election. There was an arrangement between the Freedom Party and the Labour Party which allowed the Freedom Party candidate to proceed.
The Dominican leader says Ian Pinard's contribution to the Soufriere constituency and to Dominica cannot be replaced.
I've had many personal and political and professional interactions with Ian. I first met Ian in 1997. At the time he was at the La Salette Credit Union, and we built that friendship from there, to the point where he encouraged me to open an account at the credit union then. So I started saving at the La Salette Credit Union. And then in 1999, we were looking to recruit candidates. I had this conversation with Ian Pinard about the possibility of he becoming a candidate in the Soufriere constituency. Now that was a huge task, because the Labour Party had never won the seat in its entire existence. And then he agreed, got him introduced to Rosie Douglas, and he agreed to run for Labour in 2000. Then Ian continued in 2005, and the major issue confronting the Scottshead Soufriere constituency at the time was the seawall issue. And Ian prepared his speech, and he happened to have shown me the speech before he delivered the speech. Then I saw this popular phrase, the seawall is coming. Now, I said, come on, we don't have the money yet. We don't have the money yet. And that thing cost $40 million. And I said, okay, you can say it. We will find the money. And I cannot remember whether he traveled with me that time or not, but certainly he was the first to know the moment we raised the money to build that seawall. And of course, President Hugo Chavez of blessed memory, the former president of Venezuela, is the one who gave us that money to build this infamous seawall in the Soufriere Scottshead constituency. And that seawall is a lasting legacy of Ian's representation of that constituency. That seawall has really transformed the lives and the communities of Soufriere, Gallio, and Scottshead, and certainly enhanced their safety and the value of their properties, because we all know what we would experience every time there is high seas in Soufriere and Scottshead. And so, if there is one thing, the other project I want to mention again too is the Union Estate. And if anybody in this country, not me, not the cabinet, not the former minister of housing, if there's anybody in this country who should be credited with all of the praise for this Union Estate, is Ian Pinard.
Mr. Scarrett added, he will remember Ian as a devoted servant of the Dominican people.
For Ian, it was always about people and treating people right, treating people with respect. And in public life, one of the most important characteristics that anybody must have is something called empathy. And when to display empathy, you need time because you have to listen to people. And Ian provided an opportunity to listen to people. No matter how busy he was, no matter how challenging his day was, he always availed himself to listen to people. Because to know what somebody is going through, you must listen to them and be in a better position to help them. And Ian Pinard exemplified that to near perfection, if I must say so. And this is why he was able to transform a seat in Soufrière from a solid Freedom Party seat to one of the most solid Labour Party seats in Dominica today. This is credited to Ian Pinard, his commitment, his hard work, his love for people. He been there in difficult times and in good times for people. People knew, everybody who knew Pinard knew that they could rely on Ian Pinard. That if they had a problem that required some intervention, Ian would not turn them back. And Ian used a lot of his personal funds in advancing his work, in bringing love and compassion and charity to many people he encountered. And so our memory of Ian is one of positivity, of one of compassion and love for people. In the party, I cannot think of anyone who can replace Ian's contribution. Ian was an extraordinary human being. Extraordinary human being. And he's one who I could rely on. I could send Ian anywhere in Dominica to resolve an issue on behalf of the party and myself. And I know that he would have gotten it done. And the void that he has left will be impossible and difficult to fill. And so it's left to us, who the Lord has given an opportunity to say another day, to work even harder, to make life better for the people that we serve, and to continue to improve the lives of the people of this country, and to build a prosperous, a just, and a country that provides benefits to all.
Ian Pinard, A Life of Service, brought to you compliments the Dominican National Lottery and PDV Petro Caribe Dominica.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Boom! Boom! Just like that, the jackpot gets bigger. Dominica, the wait is finally over. Match 5 is officially here. Will your 5 numbers be the lucky ones? You can win over $10,000 every Wednesday and Saturday. Don't miss out on a chance to win big every week with the new Match 5. Tickets are available at any DNL agent island-wide.
Parliamentary representative for the Soufrière constituency, Denise Charles Pemberton, described the death of former government minister Ian Pinard as a national loss. In the by-election, which resulted from Mr. Pinard's resignation in 2016, Mrs. Charles Pemberton was chosen as the Dominica Labour Party candidate. She had previously worked on Mr. Pinard's campaign and received his endorsement.
When a great man dies, especially one taken from us so suddenly, the pain runs deep, the tears come easily, and it is difficult, truly difficult, to accept that we will never see Pinard again. Friend, father, cousin, comrade, Mr. P or butler, as so many of us fondly called him. He has left an indelible mark on all our lives, and each of us will carry his memory in our own way. As for me, I will carry him as a mentor, a loyal friend, a devoted father, a man who loved life, and yes, a man who loved good food, especially his meat. And honestly, I cannot blame him because his mom, the late Janet, was a great cook. Ian was a confident man, a man of presence, and also very jovial. I remember when we worked at Petro-Carib, we were planning a trip to Mary Gallant, and we are going on this tiny boat. And Pinard was like, "Oh, Dennis, we took a little boat ride to Mary Gallant," and I was saying I'm scared, I get seasick, and I was very worried about making that trip. But he encouraged me to go on the trip and teasing me all along the way. And guess what? When we go 15 minutes out, the first man sick on deck and throwing up is Ian and hiding. That was who he was. When I returned in Dominica in 2009, it was Ian who encouraged me to stay. He told me to apply at Petro-Carib for accounting position, and somehow I ended up as the HR manager. That was Ian. He saw more in you than sometimes you saw in yourself. One of my most cherished memories was our recent trip to Canada. We walked for an hour because we were going to this cocktail event. And when we got there, we realized we were too early. So what did we do? We went shopping. Whilst we were shopping, his three boys called him. They did a video call and they said, Daddy, what are you buying for us? And Ian was there talking to them. They were sharing with him about their day at school. And he was there laughing. And then he told them, I'll call you back. And he said, boy, Dennis, we have to get the same gift for all of them. So we were there looking for shirts. He said, if you see I buy a different shirt for one, it's problems. So that is what stayed with me most, was seeing the man he had become. A loving and devoted father, a man fully committed to his children, ensuring they experienced different cultures and having a stable, loving life with his partner. That is the Ian I will always remember.
President of the Dominica Labour Party, Emmanuel Nanthan, says the late Ian Pinard was a man who gave his life to serving people.
The Dominica Labour family has lost a senior member or vice president of our party, Ian Pinard. Ian was a true symbol of Labour and what Labour stands for. He was like the comforting shoulder, the bigger brother, the one who always lived to love and to serve and to share. For us, we always knew Ian as someone with a big heart, someone who was close to the people and close to his people, close to Labour. Ian worked tirelessly and looked for little praise. He was just a soldier in the vineyard. Ian will truly be missed, not just in Point Michel, but throughout Dominica, and definitely throughout the Labour family, where we loved him, where he loved us, where he shared with us and he worked with us, and he toiled for all Dominicans in every different aspect. He was a member of parliament, he was the manager of Petro-Carib, he was the current manager of Dominica Port Authority, but the vice president of the party. Someone who loved people, someone who served people, someone who was always there to make people feel better and to lend a helping hand. Someone who was soft and gentle, a giant who served and served people. He will forever be missed. May his soul rest in peace, and we extend our condolences to his family and friends. To all the people of Point Michel, Soufriere, Gallia, Scottside, and all Labourites and Dominicans by extension.
And General Secretary of the Dominica Labour Party and Health Minister Kasani Lavelle expressed his sadness over the passing of Ian Pinard.
That's my good friend, my comrade. It's so strange how the world works, My last message to him was no problem, minutes to 12. He said he's going to call me back. He was in a meeting, and he said, no problem, you understand? And to hear this today, that is just shock. That's our good friend, our comrade, who's passed, and is a deep wound for all of us in Dominica. And, for me personally, for the Prime Minister, to the executive, the Dominica Labour Party, all of you, and his wonderful children, his partner, brothers and sisters, and the wonderful people of the Soufriere constituency who loved him dearly. In my capacity as GenSec of the party, I extend my heartfelt condolences to his family and to his children. A father is now gone, a truly good man, and he's a great man and someone not only in title, as you all know, but in spirit, in stature, and by his action, in the way that he lived every single day. And he was someone who was demonstrated humility, someone who was humble, a simple human being, whenever you met him, you would feel it. And if you saw him, you would not know that he was the boss. You would not know he was the minister. You would not know that he was the CEO. But you knew that he was a man of compassion by the way that he treated people, and that was his strength, by the way that he made people feel valued and to feel respected. And Ian was a kind soul, always smiling, as you all know, always calm, always present. In a world where people sometimes seek power for self, and Ian carried himself with responsibility, with grace, and with absolute humility, and that defined that brother. And today it is hard, but we give thanks for his life. We give thanks for his service. We give thanks for his example. And I just simply wish to say, comrades, that may he rest in peace, oh dear brother. Your legacy will live on in every life that you touched. And may the comfort of God with his family and may his soul rest in peace.
Minister for National Security and former Member of Parliament for the Maho constituency, Raymond Blackmore, described Pinard as one of the kindest souls he has known.
To me, I'm still trying to accept the reality of the moment. And Ian Pinard was, to me, one of the kindest soul I've known. And we made it to politics at the same time in 2000. From that time, our friendship has been built on, that kind of understanding and brotherhood. And so my heart goes out to his family. And of course, he has left behind 3 children of tender ages, 3, 5, and 7. And his family, especially his sister, is tight. And there's nothing more I can say in terms of the goodness that he brought on earth while he was there. And when I saw him on Saturday, I was not aware that the last time we were going to speak. For matter of fact, we're supposed to have been speaking today because, as you know, we are moving towards making the fisheries complex in Maricot a legal port of entry. You know what I'm saying? So we had to actually finalize that, and only to find that was not to be. So hold strong, and also to the employees of DASPA, the board of directors of DASPA, of course, the folks at Petro-Caribbean would have known Ian very, very well. And I know his touching is tight, you know what I'm saying? So I wish everybody courage and strength, and to my cabinet colleagues who knew Ian, and Ian was a wonderful soul. And may his soul continue to rest in peace.
Former Government Minister Catherine Danielle says Ian Pinard was a loyal friend who was committed to his work.
Ian Pinard, a brother, a friend, family member, brother to the Dominica Labour Party, a committed soul, a person you could depend on. Ian was a loyal friend. You could trust him with anything. Ian epitomized compassion, love, especially for his family and for his boys. Ian was my traveling partner with the Labour Party. And when the process of confirmation was going along, I always traveled with Ian. I felt safe, and the conversations that we had, Ian loved Dominica. Ian loved his work. Ian thought of the vulnerable people. It hurt his heart to see certain people in certain situations, and he would help in any way possible.
In 2009, when Ian Pinard declined to seek re-election as a parliamentary representative for the Soufrière constituency due to health-related reasons, he was succeeded by Sam Martin in Parliament. And when Mr. Pinard was elected to Parliament once again in the 2014 election, his candidacy was endorsed by Sam Martin. Sam Martin says that the former Soufrière MP dedicated his life to service.
I think I will start by saying, if we were to say Ian Pinard, we can probably say it is synonymous with service. Ian Pinard has served us well, and I dare say very well. He has served in different capacities, and I have been fortunate to have served with him almost through it all. Ian Pinard is somebody who I will say, correct me if I'm wrong, contradict me if I'm wrong, but Ian Pinard has never shied from any responsibility. Like all of us, he had his little flaws, like to say, well, I don't think it's a flaw really. Ian Pinard was like before they say Mamu and Prime Minister Scary does not take no for an answer. So he had that same approach. So he would not take no for an answer. So every time we had meetings to do with the constituency or the party or the country, we would have our fights, we had our back and forth. But he insisted, he persisted, and he ensured that we get it done.
Ronelia Inca Williams served as Mr. Pinard's first secretary when he entered active politics in 2000. The two maintained a lifelong friendship, with Williams having fond memories of the late Pinard and his journey to fatherhood.
I had never been approached by anyone to assist them in the manner Ian approached me. His statement was not a request, but more for demand. And in patois, he said to me in 2000, Inca, mweka mute po election, eve mwe vle travay ba mwe. Before I could comprehend what he was saying, he added, mwe pani laja pou peye usav a chelma. Usav kuma bagay la ya. Ye deja even nou pani laja. Nou ka just wotre aza sa, nou jen, whatever. Me, le nou tape laja, mwe peye ou bagay pa ke toujou reste kwa sa even nou. Fast forward, Ian was able to convince me, and in essence, my first 4 months of employment as his administrative clerk were gratis. One of our fun moments is that whenever I met him on any platform, any environment, I made it my duty to ask him, but Mr. P, when are you going to start your family now? You're not getting any younger, you know. It's time to have little Ians running around in Lapwet. And he responded the same every time. Inka, makafe zafa, money puni la japo gade kot zafa mo. Money puni ya kai pou mete zafa mo. Mo pale fe zafa pou Janet, gade ba mwe. Makafe zafa pou sese mo fwe mo, gade ba mwe. Le mo fe zafa mo se pou mo, gade kot yo asize ve yo. So when he eventually entered fatherhood, I made it my point of duty to call him, to congratulate him. And the warmth, the excitement that came from Ian, I hear his voice now saying to me, Bodenka, I look at that little boy so much, I don't even sleep. Mokani gade timonla. Ikadomi mokani gade. That was his greatest achievement. And then the rest was history. He had his 2 other sons. And one day he said to me, I love my children so much. I can't wait for the day to end to run home to them. The little giggles, the little smiles, the excitement that my children get when they see me, when they be your tank transport mokavini, Inca they by the door waiting, they smiling, they grinning. And I'm so excited to bring little goodies to them. Daddy, what you bring? And this was Ian's priority in his last era of his life.
Manager at DBS Radio Cecil Joseph knew the late Ian Pinard both on the political platform and through his executive leadership roles. Joseph describes Pinard as a genuine man who devoted his life to serving people.
I have known Ian Pinard for a very long time, way back in November of 1999. That period, knowing Ian, I've seen him to be a genuine person, a person who speaks his mind, but at the same time with a very good heart, genuine heart, always willing to see how best he can help in ensuring that everybody is happy. He was employed during that period of 2000, 2001 at the Dominica Lottery Commission, and I saw his leadership in reference to working with DBS Radio. I was then at the time salesperson, so I had to contact him to discuss issues of advertising. And again, Ian was very cognizant of dollars and cents as to how best that they were going to spend the dollars and to see the dollar value in return for the Dominica National Lottery. And so every business that we did, he was very meticulous as to where he spent the money of lottery. And we saw from that lottery image and attraction to the general public grew and grew fast. Then he found himself working at Petrocarib for a number of years, again to Petrocarib, was advertised on DBS Radio. Then I'm now sales and marketing manager, acting, and I kept my relationship with Ian. And again, Ian was very meticulous on numbers, the value of numbers, and he would have spent the money of marketing and advertising wisely, and we can now speak of the importance of Petrocarib to Dominica and Dominica's economy. And Ian, for sure, will be missed for the kind of work that he did with all of the institutions that he worked with, again understanding the value of the dollar and what the dollar could do if you use it wisely, and how he himself, served people and why I think it was important of serving people. Ian could give a good joke. He could take a good joke. Ian and myself and some other people, we found ourselves on a weekly basis or fortnightly basis. We always found ourselves playing tennis, lawn tennis. And whenever he played against me, he would call me the old man. We're going to beat the old man. And whenever I would do a good backhand shot or a good forehand shot, he would say, boy, the old man, you're still good, man. So I remember the voice of Ian even calling me the old man. It was not meant in any bad stead. I think I was the elder of the 6 of us who actually played tennis. So by virtue of that, most of them would refer me as grandpa or uncle or the old man. We'll miss Ian on the regular basis that we would have met. So it's a big shoe to be filled, whoever has to fill his shoes, because of his humility, because of his humbleness.
Following his tenure in elected office, Mr. Pinard continued to contribute to national development in executive roles. He was employed as general manager of the Dominica National Lotteries from 2000 to roughly 2007. Human resource manager at the Dominica National Lotteries, Anlyn Roberts, credits Mr. Pinard for her employment at the establishment. Mrs. Roberts previously worked with Mr. Pinard at the La Salette Credit Union. She says his legacy will continue to be an inspiration to all he worked with.
My name is Anlyn Roberts, Human Resource Manager at Dominican National Lottery. My first encounter with Mr. Pinard goes back to 1995, when we both worked at the La Salette Cooperative Credit Union for about 4 years. After spending a few years abroad, I returned to Dominica in 2001, and upon my return, Mr. Pinard offered me an opportunity to join the Dominican National Lottery, where he served at the time as general manager. This marked the beginning of a significant chapter in my professional life under his leadership. I will always remember Mr. Pinard as a very driven and generous individual with a huge heart for kindness. He was always willing to extend a helping hand to those around him. During his tenure at the Dominican National Lottery, I remember clearly, his dedication was not limited to just the success of the organization, but he was deeply invested in the well-being of his employees. Mr. Pinard always coached and advised his staff, encouraging them, to seize opportunities for both professional and personal development. His unwavering support and motivation inspired many employees to improve their lives including becoming homeowners. This is a reflection of his genuine desire for his staff to grow and succeed along the organization. One of the most significant legacies Mr. Pinard left us took place before his departure from the lottery in 2007. I remember during the management contract negotiations between Dominica Lotteries Commission and Canadian Banknote, he fought tirelessly to ensure all employees maintained their continuous years of service, securing the assurance of gratuity payments. Today, many employees are proud to have over 20 years of service and remain eligible for gratuities. This was a direct result of Mr. Pinard's commitment.
The chairman of the Dominica National Lotteries, Ian Monroe, who is a family member to the deceased Ian Pinard, described him as a true son of the soil.
Butler was an exemplary citizen of this country who thought about people, not about self. I can speak to the difficulties he may have encountered in his personal life. I choose not to. But Ian Pinard was a true son of the soil. My cousin, my friend, Mr. P, whom, like a brother, I told him, please seek other medical help. He chose to go to his sister in Martinique. No problem. I chose to go to Barbados. We suffered from the same ailments. It's a family medical condition. And he said to me, let it be. Let it be. And today, in great remorse, I'm saddened. I can assure you that the persons of La Pointe, Soufrière, Quartet, Galion, that was a man who was always there for you. He was always there for you. And I'm not taking any credit for it, but I inculcated that into his spirit. I did. And that spirit still lives on in this constituency.
Marketing manager at the Dominica National Lotteries, Ken George, says Ian Pinard was a steady and approachable man who invested in all who he came into contact with.
From 2000 to 2007, he served as general manager of the Dominica National Lottery. But to those of us who worked with him, he was never just the general manager. He was our friend, steady, approachable, and always willing to listen. He led with the drive and generosity, and he had a simple way of making people feel seen and supported. Mr. P, as we call him, he worked tirelessly to strengthen the lottery's business, and he played a major role in making Lotto the household name it is today. But what many of us will remember most is how he carried about people. He invested in his staff. He mentored. He encouraged. He pushed us, sometimes gently, sometimes firmly, to aim higher and to believe we could do more. And because he took the time with his people, many lives truly improved. He also had the vision to take the lottery to a higher level. Better system, stronger operation, and a wider reach. And even at the time when he knew his path was leading into public life and that he would not remain with the organization, he still focused on doing what is best for the lottery and for the people who work there. Mr. Pinard, we thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your fairness and your heart. Your work will continue to speak for you, and your kindness will remain with us.
Ian Pinard A Life of Service, brought to you compliments the Dominican National Lottery and PDV Petro Caribe Dominica.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Match 5 is our easy to play local game. Pick 5 numbers from 1 to 29 and win prizes accordingly to the number of numbers you match. Match 5 and boom! You win that jackpot starting at $10,000 ici dollars. $10,000. Mon qui est famille moi vous dire mi botte à côté l'auto à nous jouer messieurs. All it takes is 5 numbers to win big. Match 5 Dominican jackpot is here. Brought to you by the Dominican National Lottery. Everything is possible.
Ian Pinard then served as general manager of Petro Caribe Dominica up until the end of 2024. In a statement following his passing, PDV Caribe Dominica Limited said in a statement, quote, "We are deeply saddened by the passing of Mr. Ian Pinard, former general manager of Petro Caribe Dominica. Mr. Pinard's leadership, dedication, and commitment to excellence left a lasting impact on the organization and all who had the privilege of working with him. His guidance and vision helped shape the growth and strength of the company, and his legacy will continue to inspire us." End quote. Gibbs Stevens, the general manager of PDV Caribe Dominica, says Ian Pinard will be remembered as one of the most impactful general managers of the company.
Ian Pinard will be remembered as that exceptional, people-centered leader who left an indelible mark on the management and staff of Petro Caribe, and by extension, the many other organizations, communities, and people that Ian served. Ian began his journey with Petro Caribe many years ago, where he served in the capacity of sales and marketing manager. He served in that position with distinction. For his leadership and dedication, the company saw a significant increase in its customer base and annual sales augmentation. Subsequent to building a solid foundation within this department, Ian exited the company to serve other interests. Several years later, he returned to Petro Caribe, but this time at a much higher calling. Ian served as general manager of Petro Caribe from 2021 to 2024. During his term as GM, he continued his transformational work within the company and will, without a single doubt, be remembered as one of the most impactful general managers that the company has ever seen. I am sure that the nation has lost a significant asset in the passing of Ian.
In December of 2024, Mr. Pinard was appointed as Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority DASPA. Chairman of the Board of DASPA, Blaise Jones, spoke following Mr. Pinard's passing.
So I heard the news this morning myself, and I certainly could not believe it. Mr. Pinard and we had a very cordial meeting yesterday, and Pinard, in his usual style, was very jovial, and I had no indication that he was not well. When I left the meeting, he headed for another meeting at the airport site. Next I heard was this morning that he had passed. He passed at his home early this morning. We were on a journey. It was a wonderful journey. Pinard came in, he followed up from where Mr. Bardwell left off. These are two different individuals. He had his own style, and people beginning to fall in line with his ideals and his idea. And he was very focused. Obviously, some persons did not like his style, but the rank and file, I believe, fell in line, and they saw where he was headed, and the board gave him full support all along. Well, I think he gave the managers a little more poise, empowered them to take over their department. That released him from certain decisions. The managers had a role to play, and I think he gave them the wherewithal and the latitude to perform that role.
Operations Manager at the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority, Miss Lynn Valerie, says the loss of Mr. Pinard was a blow for the institution.
Mr. Pinard was such an inspiring leader. He brought great change to DASPA, and I can say we, general staff of DASPA and management, we really look forward to great things at DASPA with he at the helm. I haven't even really started processing it because we spoke yesterday and we also saw a meeting first thing this morning, so I was hurrying in to make sure when he come that we would meet. We had a very important meeting. I want to just remember him as that person really being that motivator, that go-getter, getting things done, working with his management team and staff. And one unique thing about him, he was very much in touch with every staff from management to every status of staff you can think of. And every morning especially, first thing, most mornings, he would ensure that he comes down to the operations department. He would go from office to office, shed to shed, and meet every staff in the offices, the shed they had, to know what's going on. He's right there with us.
PR and Communication Specialist at DASPA, Joanne Geist, also expressed her sadness at the passing of Mr. Pinard.
It's really hard this morning getting this news, and Mr. Pinard wasn't just a general manager to us. He was a mentor. He was a person we looked up to. He impacted the staff in a way that we did not expect in such little time that he was with us. And I mean, for me personally, knowing Mr. Pinard for over 20 years, not just as the general manager on the port, it's something that is hard. Getting that news this morning and, knowing that the impact that he had on the staff while he was there, to see the staff come together in this sad time. It's sad news this morning. It's a sad day for us here, but we have come to hold on and depend on each other for the strength that we need. And I think that is what he would have wanted us to do, lean on each other for the strength to go through this and continue the work that he started here, and to bring the authority forward and to bring it to where it needs to be.
And Financial Controller at DASPA, Oliver Henderson, described Mr. Pinard as an easygoing, observant man who will be greatly missed.
I just want to express my deepest sadness in relation to the passing of my former boss, Mr. Ian Pinard. I must say I met Ian formally and really get to know him in December of 2024 when he became the general manager / CEO of DASPA. So we had a very cordial work relationship. He was a very, easy guy to work with really, and understood quite well the task that we had ahead of us in regards to keeping the finances of the institution on point. We had our challenges, but we did work together to try our best to ensure that things were kept at bay. And so I can tell you, I'll miss him a lot because of his very observant nature. He spots things very quickly, especially when it comes to errors. He was really quick on spotting an error. And I tell you, this helped me work with him very well as well. And so, like, what I can say is that he'll be missed by me, and I'm sure the rest of the management team will also express the same feeling and sentiments. I just want to wish his family, his children, and his significant other all the best going forward, because I know that this is a huge void for them. It's a huge hole that has been dug there. So I just pray that everything will go with them, and wish them all the best for their future.
Karis Alexander is a member of the board of directors at DASPA and a close friend of Mr. Pinard. He highlighted the role that Pinard played in shaping his life.
I've known Pinard my entire life. He's my elder brother, my godfather, my father, uncle, friend, colleague. I remember when we raised down at Bredo, my neighbor at the time. His mother was like my mother. When my adopted mother wanted advice on how to deal with me or how to raise me, she consulted Pinard's mom, Janet. I also remember going to Pinard's house to get good food because my mom was diabetic. So it was always broth. So when I went to Pinard's house, Janet's house actually, I ate some food that's not for the elderly. I'm here today, and as someone joked, I wouldn't say it was joked, or someone mentioned in February to my brother, it wasn't for Pinard, Karis probably dead. And it's true. Pinard's helped me a lot, and I stand here today as an example of the caring nature of Mr. Pinard, Ian Butler, and I shall ever be grateful. I was and internally grateful. And I remember when his mom said to me in 2014, Karis, gade bamwena, gade bamwe, weti eve. I cried and I said, Janet, I will be there. And I stood with Pinard because he stood with me. He knew what was loyalty, he knew what was love, he knew what was respect, he knew what was compassion, and he knew what to be a leader. And as we go along, I ask everyone to be like Mr. Pinard. Love your neighbor. Love is the key.
Airport manager at the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority, Kirsten Pascal, says Mr. Pinard left his mark at DASPA despite his short stint as CEO.
He believed in staff often before we believed in ourselves. He challenged us, he corrected us and guided us, but also with purpose, always with care. Mr. Pinard was tough. There's no denying that. He spoke plainly, expected excellence, and did not sugarcoat the truth. But behind the directness was a man deeply invested in the growth of his team. He wanted us to do better and to carry ourselves with integrity. He was knowledgeable in many ways that commanded respect, but he shared that knowledge freely. He mentored, advised, and guided with sincerity that left a lasting mark on all of us who had the privilege of working with him. Remember his strength, his humor, his wisdom, and above all, his heart. Rest well, Mr. Pinard. Your legacy lives in every life you touched.
Juliana Francois is an accountant at the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority.
It is with deep sadness that we say goodbye to a truly remarkable leader. He came to DASPA with a vision. He came with a goal. He came with a drive. And although his tenure with us was short, it was undeniably impactful. In that time, he left a mark on this organization and on each of us that will never be forgotten. He was a man who knew what he wanted and worked tirelessly to achieve it. To know him was to understand just how driven he was. When he asked for something, if he asked for it today, you know he wanted it done yesterday. That was the level of commitment he brought to his work, and he pushed all of us to think bigger, move faster, and strive for excellence. But beyond the goals, the decisions, and the vision, What truly set him apart was his connection to people. Though he was head of the entire organization, he never distanced himself from his staff. He was present, he was approachable, and he was human. Every morning, he made it his priority to walk through every department, greeting each person, shaking hands, sharing kind words, and making sure no one felt unseen. No matter how busy things got, he would never pass without saying something that would put a smile on our faces. Every Friday, Mr. Pinard would purchase $60 worth of celery from one of his staff members. And everybody that come to his office, he want them to take some because he know he didn't need all that celery.
Following the death of Mr. Pinard, the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority, DASPA, held a remembrance ceremony in his honor. The Dominica Air and Seaports Authority sponsored Sanchia Tyson in the Miss Dominica 2026 pageant. Miss Tyson said in a Facebook post following the death of Mr. Pinard that her heart was truly heavy as she reflected on his passing. She said, and I quote, "Being sponsored by DASPA was more than just an opportunity. It was a blessing that I will carry with me forever. I am deeply grateful for the faith that was placed in me, and especially to Mr. Pinard, who believed in my potential and supported me throughout my journey. His encouragement meant more than words can ever fully express." Wearing the title of Miss DASPA was an honor I held close to my heart. I am proud that I was able to represent the organization and him with strength, grace, and determination, emerging as second runner-up. That moment will always be tied to his belief in me. This loss is deeply painful. Mr. Pinard was not only a leader, but a source of inspiration, and his impact will not be forgotten. My heart is broken, and I can only imagine the depth of grief felt by those closest to him. End quote.
It must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind. So I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face without a name for so long. A beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings.
Outside of his political career and his stint in various executive roles, Ian Pinard valued family. He leaves behind 3 sons who he shared with his common-law wife. Pinard and his common-law wife were the proprietors of Pinard's Mountain Resort in Point Michelle. He also leaves behind various family members, including his 3 brothers and sisters, both biological and adopted. Delphina, the older sister of Ian Pinard, says her brother was a humble, kind-hearted person.
Life is so unpredictable. Life isn't long. There's a tiny space between saying hello to someone and saying goodbye. Today, we're taking the opportunity to say goodbye to Ian. My brother was a humble, kind-hearted person. Well, we all knew him as a people person, never wanted to say no to anyone when, many times, he should have. We're going to celebrate his legacy, his contribution to his work, the impact he made in such a short time on earth will be remembered for a very, very long time. The love of his family, his 3 boys, his 4 siblings, especially his 3 sisters, he spoiled us. His Aunt Gloria, my cousins in Ottawa, in New York. It's with a sad, sad heart that I want to say, Ian, you will be missed. You will be loved. With respect and kindness. May you rest in peace. Love you, bro.
Ian Pinard, A Life of Service, brought to you compliments the Dominican National Lottery and PDV Petro Caribe Dominica.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Dominica National Lottery introducing to you the brand new game, Match 5 and Boom. Are you ready to play for the jackpot? Jackpot starts at $10,000. You can get your tickets at any lottery agent near you and get ready to boom, boom, and win.
The late Ian Pinard also had a deep-rooted love for the people of the Soufrière constituency. He gave his life to serving the people, not only in Parliament, but through his actions. Ian was said to open his home and heart to anyone in need. He was also said to be a brother and father figure to everyone who came into contact with him. He was one of the founding members of the Point Michel Development Committee. Former vocalist of the first serenade band, Lloydie John Baptist, says that the late Ian Pinard will be remembered for his humility. The two were instrumental in organizing a basketball tournament in Point Michel. John Baptist was also employed at the Dominica National Lotteries during the stint of the late Ian Pinard as general manager.
Ian Pinard is a guy, originally from the island of Point Michel, like myself. He grew up in the area which was called Lodbo, pretty much at the beginning, of the village. Myself, I grew up on the ending of Point Michel, a place called Sibuli, Sin City. As teenagers, we connected. At that time, we were allowed to walk away from the neighborhood where we grew up in. And together we had a group as teenagers called BK, which stand for the Black Knights. And together we did the basketball league in Point Michel. We assisted in the Point Michel football league also. It was a group, a lot of positive stuff we did growing up in the community. And this group consists of Ali, Danny, Lester, Dale, David, Quabener, and myself. And as time went by, we got older. Pinard started working at the credit union in Point Michel. He started as the teller, then got promoted as the loans officer. And then he got into the political arena, where he became the candidate for the Dominica Labour Party. From that, he also worked at the Dominica Lotteries Commission, Lotto, as the general manager. And again, we worked there together. At that time, I was also the sales and marketing manager for the Lotto. And it was around this time, we worked closely. We made some changes towards the company that gives us, some good response to the Dominica market. And from there, that was the time after this I left Dominica and I moved to St. Martin. But overall, Pinard has always been a very quiet, humble guy in doing things.
The late Ian Pinard advocated strongly for the youth of the Soufriere constituency. Many remember him as being firm while encouraging. During a memorial following his passing, Taisha Sunday made remarks on behalf of the youth of the Soufriere constituency.
I am representing the youth of the Soufriere constituency. Though most of us were maybe not even born as yet when Mr. Pinard got only 45 votes, he did had a great impact on our lives. Today, with heavy hearts, we stand together to honor the life of Mr. Pinard, a man who meant so much to so many of us. It is not easy to find the right words, because Mr. Pinard was not just someone we knew. He was someone we felt. He was guiding light, a steady voice, and a source of strength in moments when we needed it most. He saw something in us that we sometimes could not see in ourselves, and he never, no matter what, gave up on us. He had a way of reaching people, especially the young people, whether through a simple conversation, a word of advice, or even a look that said, "I know you can do better." He made us believe that we were capable, that we mattered, and that our future was worth fighting for. Many of us will remember his kindness, his patience, and the quiet sacrifices he made to uplift those around him. He gave us his time, his energy, and his heart without asking for anything in return. That kind of love, that kind of dedication is something we will never forget. Today, we are not just mourning his passing, we are remembering a legacy of guidance, of care, and of belief in the youth.
Meanwhile, Weefers Jules of the Soufriere constituency says that the country has lost one of its soldiers.
In 2000, when Ian contested the elections, Ian got 45 votes, and Ian decided, you know what, and because of the person he was, very resilient, that man wasn't giving up at all. Ian, from 45 to power rep, that is history in Dominica. We shouldn't forget that, That's history. From 45 votes to power rep. And we were the foot soldiers, and every day Ian would be like, but Ian was annoying, but good annoying, fellas, the voters list, the voters list, the voters list. Every day, Ian, every meeting we go to is like a broken record, but it was a good record, the voters list. That man, that's a special man. Touch lives of many. Butler, if you're from La Pointe, how do you used to call him? Right. So Ian died as a butler. He died with his nickname. And I'm a butler, big heart, understanding, tenacious. That's why he never gave up. He lost the election in 2000, but he decided he fighting. He came back in 2005 to be a power rep. Loyal to Dominica, loyal to the party, loyal to LAP. Everywhere Ian stepped foot in, he was very loyal, empathetic, and reliable. I can speak to the men out there. Men, if you hear my voice, please take care of yourself. Check your health. Ian will always say that to his staff, make sure you're okay, check on your health, But I'm going to continue for Ian. I'm going to advocate, Ian's advocate. Men especially, check your health. If you're not sure what happening to you, go to the doctor. Check your health. Ian died as a soldier. Ian gave his life. He gave his heart for country, for La Pointe, for Soufriere. And Ian loves Soufriere, Scott said. Let me tell you something. That man wasn't easy.
Lynthia Bellot, the sales and marketing supervisor at DBS Radio and a resident of Soufriere, hailed Ian Pinard as selfless. Bellot says Pinard had a special relationship with her father.
Ian Pinard, affectionately known to many of us as Butler and Mr. P. That was my favorite way to call him, Mr. P. I knew Ian way before him becoming the PAL rep for the Soufriere constituency. When he became the PAL rep for the Soufriere constituency, the relationship grew deeper. He was like a family friend because he and my papa had a special relationship. They developed that special relationship. They were like father and son. Nothing was too big for Papa to do for Ian and for him to do for Papa in return. Mr. P was a man of very few words, but when he spoke to anyone on a one-to-one basis, you had to be attentive. He was a beautiful soul. He was selfless. Nothing was too hard for him to give or for him to do. My fondest memories of Mr. P will always be our long conversations. We had our little Beth moments, how we put it in our local term. We pong our Beth. He was a good listener. He encouraged others to do their best. His love for people, especially those of the Soufriere constituency. I am not sure if the people of the Soufriere constituency knew how much Mr. P loved them. And while he was not our PAL rep, he just wanted the constituency to thrive and to be the best. I will miss hearing his voice saying to me, Linfia Belu Peppa, Sakot Lavi Botawa, and we would both laugh. I will miss hearing him saying to me, what you want now, church, DBS, or Soufriere sponsorship? And then, Linfia, you like a money, we? That would always follow that conversation. Then we both laughed. But without a doubt, he would support my efforts at DBS. He would support our parish church council. He was always readily available when we needed that assistance.
Member of the La Salette Global Association, Rowena Joseph, remembered the late Ian Pinard as a pillar of strength to the people who were close to him.
We pause to honor a special friend of La Salette Global Association, Mr. Pinard, someone whose kindness spoke louder than words and whose actions touched so many lives. Mr. Pinard was the kind of person that you could always count on. No matter the time or the situation, he was always ready and willing to help whenever he was called. His generosity of spirit and selflessness made a lasting impact on everyone fortunate enough to know him. Mr. Pinard didn't just offer his help, he gave his time, his energy, and his heart without hesitation. In a world where so many are too busy, he made the time. Where others might step back, he stepped forward. That was a measure of the man that Mr. Pinard was.
Ian Pinard also had a deep love for football and basketball. He was instrumental in providing support for the Petro Caribe Point Michel Football Club. Club member Malik paid tribute to the late Ian Pinard.
On behalf of the Petro Caribe Point Michel Football Club, we extend our deepest and most sincere condolences to the family of Mr. Ian Pinard. Mr. Pinard was a truly kind, generous, and remarkable individual whose impact will be felt for years to come. During his tenure as acting manager of Petro Caribe, he went above and beyond in supporting our club, providing sponsorship that greatly contributed to our growth and development. We are deeply grateful for the consistent support he and Petro Caribe has given us over the years. His generosity did not go unnoticed. In fact, just the day before his passing, Mr. Pinard was preparing to award each man of the match in our football games with a monetary contribution. Yet another example of his selflessness and dedication to uplifting others. Mr. Pinard was approachable, humble, and understanding. He carried himself with warmth and respect, always willing to assist and encourage. His presence brought people together, and his kindness left a lasting impression on everyone who had the privilege of knowing him. We thank him sincerely for his unwavering support, his generosity, and the positive legacy he leaves behind. He will be deeply missed by our club and the wider community. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Point Michelle resident Gerald George says Ian Pinard was committed to the development of sports within the Point Michelle community. George says the passing of Pinard came as a shock.
Ian Pinard and I go back a long way. We've done a lot in terms of sports for Point Michelle. The Point Michelle Football League, the Southern Cricket League, wherever he worked, and I would call on him for assistance, for sponsorship. Ian Pinard would always be there and willing. So yeah, he left a mark when it comes to sports in Point Michelle in terms of his contribution, and which we appreciated every year. As a matter of fact, just before he passed, the Thursday he and I were having conversation as to how he's going to come on board with the Point Michelle Football Club and make some assistance to the club. So we were supposed to seal the deal on the Friday that he passed, and when I got that call after 7 in the morning, I just could not believe. I was in shock. So yeah, we just want on behalf of the sporting community in Point Michelle, and by extension those in Soufriere, Scott said, Gallia, we just want to extend our deepest condolences to his family and to his friends, and may his soul rest in eternal peace.
Another day is gone, I'm still all alone. How could this be? You're not here with me. You never said goodbye. Someone tell me why did you have to go and leave my world so cold? Every day I sit and ask myself, how did I slip away? Something whispers in my ear and says that you are not alone. But I am here with you, though you're far away. I am here to stay, but you're not alone. But I am here with you, though we're far apart. You're always in my heart, but you're not alone.
The death of Ian Pinard was felt not only on the local scene, but regionally and internationally. The St. Christopher Air and Seaport Authority paid tribute to Mr. Pinard in a Facebook post, extending heartfelt condolences to the family and friends on his passing. The post added that Mr. Pinard's leadership and impact reached beyond Dominica, touching the wider Caribbean port community. Regional leaders honored the late Ian Pinard during the Caribbean Ports Roundtable meeting in Washington, D.C. Regional and U.S. delegates observed a minute of silence for the late Ian Pinard. Chairman of Port Management Association of the Caribbean, Darwin Talamak, led the tribute, sharing a heartbreaking account of the final days leading up to the roundtable. Talamak disclosed that he and his staff had worked closely with Pinard throughout the week to secure his travel visa for the Washington summit. He stated, and I quote, "I called him at 7 a.m. on Friday to check on his progress, but by 8 a.m. the news came that he had passed away." End quote. The regional and international leaders acknowledged Pinard's legacy as a distinguished public servant who served Dominica both as a government minister and a maritime leader. Telemac expressed that the regional port community would move forward with a renewed sense of purpose as they carry on the work Pinard was so committed to seeing through. The former government minister and public sector executive Ian Pinard has been accorded an official funeral by the government of Dominica. The funeral mass will be held at the National Shrine of Our Lady of La Salette in Point Michel today. Today has also been declared a day of national mourning, and all flags will be flown at half-staff. Public viewing will take place from 2 p.m. and the funeral mass will begin at 3 p.m., followed by interment at the Point Michel Roman Catholic Cemetery.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way.
Ian Pinard, A Life of Service, was written by Delma Semper, produced by Delma Semper, Hassan Robinson, and Cecil Joseph. Special thanks to Hazari Williams and Layla Langford. Special appreciation to everyone who lended their voice and support in making this production a reality. Ian Pinard, A Life of Service.
Yes, it was my